smash the like button, and subscribe.
41.
Do you support Trump?
Yep.
If the election was held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
I think it was a long list of things that happened in the last 4 years that had a lot of racism towards white male Christians that really kind of divided. It got old. It got quick. It got old real quick. Then the left trying to say that they're against racism, but then turning around and everything's identity politics. It was something that didn't form a safe future for this country. I felt like. Then you get to the presidential policies and things, and Kamala Harris couldn't have an unscripted media event or interview at all. She was highly unprepared, and her only qualifications, per Joe Biden himself, was that she was put as vice president because she was a woman of color. She was a DEI hire, and that came from Biden himself. Why would I vote for her if her only qualification was a DEI hire? Now, granted.
Can I respond?
Granted. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, please.
Yeah, this is all ridiculous. That was not her only qualification. Also, by the way, Biden never said because she's a woman of color. Biden literally just said that he's already picked a woman, right, for vice president. So just describing a characteristic of someone that he's already picked. Didn't even reference that she was a black woman, by the way. That was completely just made up by people. Along with the fact that that doesn't make her a DEI hire. There are countless examples of Trump specifically picking women and saying that he was going to pick women, such as Amy Coney Barrett. I don't think that you would consider them a DEI hire. Plus, under that same notion, you could consider Tim Walz a DEI hire because he was a white man. Secondly, we can also point to the fact that in terms of, you said racism towards white male Christians, I would love to hear what this racism is that you've experienced and how it's been harmful to your life as a white male Christian. Along with the unscripted media events, she went to plenty, including the debates, right? Including Fox News interviews. Can you name one interview that Donald Trump did with an adversary?
With an adversary?
Yes.
Not right off the top of my head, no.
But I just mentioned one with Kamala Harris going on Fox News. So Donald Trump just went on a bunch of platforms that were cool with him. He didn't go on platforms that were adversaries to him. So clearly, I think that would be the important thing to consider if you're talking about interviews that would have to be unscripted or something like that, right? Or talking about whether or not they're able to respond in interviews. It's ironic that you couldn't mention a single adversarial interview that he went on.
It's not ironic. He went through a lot. Just because I can't name one doesn't mean that. I mean, I don't sit here and do this for a living, Parker. You pop off things and acronyms and these specifics, expecting people to actually work to know the stuff that you do while you sit on TikTok for 12 hours a day, man. Just because
you don't think I work?
One doesn't. No, I don't.
I'm working right now.
I think anytime somebody makes a good point, you interrupt them is what you've been doing.
Hey, sir, I literally just responded to that because you said I'm not working. I'll make sure to write that down for you. But Elevate, thank you so much for the Zeus. I really appreciate you supporting my unemployment. Thank you so much, Elevate, for the Zeus. I really appreciate it. Thank you. But go ahead. I'll make sure to write down that I'm unemployed.
I didn't say you were unemployed. I said you just don't work. This isn't work. Don't twist my words. I know you guys are good at that, but don't
can you tell me what work is?
You don't know the difference between work and sitting in a chair talking?
This is work. So can you define work for me, please?
Are you getting lost in the sauce here?
No, I want you to define work. Are you unable to define work?
I'm able to define work just fine.
So define it.
I'm just going to twist my words.
I promise you I won't. Define it.
Work is actually putting in work, putting in some effort.
That you use work within the definition. That's called a circular definition.
In a chair talking with people and dragging on 30-minute conversations with people who don't know what they're talking about and expecting people to know everything precisely.
Elevate with the Zeus for supporting my unemployment. Thank you so much, Elevate. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much supporting me. Not working, actually. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I don't work so much. It's actually amazing. I don't work like anyone, but I actually still get paid for it. It's crazy. Thank you so much for supporting me. Not working, actually. Now, so you say I sit in a chair and talk to people. That doesn't mean I don't work. That is my job. That is how I work. There are plenty of people that work from home and talk to people, sit in a chair and talk to people. There are plenty of people that go to a particular place where they work with other people around them, and they talk to people and sit in a chair. Do you think CEOs that sit in chairs and work specifically all day? Do you think people that are work in IT have jobs and work? Do you think lawyers work, right, that specifically sit in a chair? Right, and talk to people?
You keep confusing unemployed with work. I never said you were unemployed. I don't know why that's hard for you to remember, but you should really put some effort into it, about as much as you work.
So I'm employed, but I don't work.
I mean, you grift is what you do.
Elevate, thank you so much for the future journey. Thank you so much for supporting the grift like you've never seen before. So by the way, I'm employed, but I don't work.
Basically,
so explain that one.
Panhandle for the deluded tribalist is what you do.
I panhandle. I panhandle. So by the way, this still is work. You're just unwilling to acknowledge it.
No,
you're just jealous.
Just panhandling.
You're just jealous, buddy.
Holding out your cup and shaking it and hoping that people will like.
Hey, dude, the Venmo and my PayPal is in my bio. The Venmo and PayPal is in my bio. I'm not telling people they have to support me,
so
right? It's if they want to support me.
Because you don't want to hear what I have to say. You actually have
all you said is that I don't have work and that I'm grifting.
See, there you go, interrupting again. Again, that's all you.
Okay, I'll stop interrupting you, man. I'll stop interrupting you. I'll be totally quiet. I got you, brother.
And see your mockery too. Like, do you ever have a debate in good faith? You know why Charlie Kirk was so great? Because he didn't purposely go out and mock people. He actually had a talk in good faith with people and wanted to connect with people.
That's why he called me deranged.
Condescend.
That's why he called me deranged.
I'm sorry, but who started the insults first? You need to rewind your live.
He did actually.
To see? No, you did.
He actually did. If you watch it, he actually did.
No.
Watch the Jubilee video. He did first.
There's a clear difference between Charlie Kirk, where on YouTube you can go all through all his videos and see where he's polite and kind to everybody.
I'm playing kind to people as well.
I thought you weren't going to interrupt me anymore. What happened?
Because you're lying about me. So I'll stop. You know what? I'll write down every single time you lie about me. I'll write it down. I got you. I apologize. My bad.
Memory right there. You know.
By the way, nice insult. By the way.
What insult?
Goldfish memory? That's not an insult.
That wasn't an insult. I stated a fact. You literally have a.
That's an insult. That's supposed to be an insult.
3 times you wouldn't interrupt me, and here you are interrupting me again. That's a goldfish memory. I'm sorry. That's a fact that offends you.
Okay, then make your point, man. Stop complaining. Stop being a snowflake. Eric, thank you for the galaxy. Sumani, thank you so much for the $5. Canadian, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Thank you very much, Canadian Rob. Ailey, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. Kayla, thank you for the $1. Elevate with the Zeus again, supporting the unemployment. Thank you so much. Guile, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much.
You're such a moron.
Alrighty, go ahead.
Dude.
Go ahead.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, make your point.
Nobody's crying. I don't know why you're saying that I'm crying or having a fit or complaining or whatever. Yeah. I'm pointing out facts that you just don't like, that you can't argue, so you just insult or interrupt. That's the only thing you've got, too. That's the sad part. Kamala Harris's only qualifications was she was a person of color, and Joe Biden himself said it. I'm sorry that you don't know any better, but Joe Biden himself said that when he picks his running mate, it will be a person of color and preferably someone of the opposite gender. He said that himself. I'm sorry you don't know any better, but he said it in 2020. You can Google that. It'll help you. Go ahead and Google it.
I have before in the past, and it was specifically he said that he picked a woman. Right now, in terms of him saying a black woman, he specifically said that about the Supreme Court position, not about the vice presidency. You're missing up those situations. Plus, that's not her only qualifications. I'm sorry, you just didn't look into her qualifications. She was an attorney general, a district attorney, a senator, right, vice president of the United States of America, a prosecutor. Okay, she had many positions that actually indicated her being qualified. Donald Trump's, what was his qualifications? 6 bankruptcies, getting a $400 million inheritance from his dad. What were his qualifications? Genuinely.
Joe Biden, March 2020, said he was going to pick a vice president running mate. And then in 2019, he stated his preference for a running mate was going to be a woman of color and or a different gender.
Wait, what day was that? And what's the source on that?
I mean, AI overview with Google. It's so simple. Just
so Google AI Google interview. Nice source.
I'm sorry. So when it's
can you give me an app? Can you click on the source at least?
I'm still talking. You're not going to interrupt me. When you find a fact that affirms you,
I was clarifying the source.
Google is fine when it affirms you, but Google is mocking when it doesn't affirm you. I get it. That's cool.
I don't use Google AI overview as a source. When have I cited Google AI overview?
Do you know how AI works?
When have I cited Google AI overview? Yes, I do.
It's a yes or no. Do you know how AI works?
Yes.
Then why would you mock it?
Well, because
if you knew how AI works, you would know that it takes a spider web, it crawls the web, it finds different sources, different answers, pulls the answers together, and gives you your answers, and then gives you a selection of what to click on to read further on about what it gives you. That's how AI works. So yes, when I say Google AI overview, that's pretty reasonable to assert that it's valid. I'm sorry that you're still back in the 2010s where you got to write a piece of paper down.
Oh, I didn't know that you didn't take a sixth grade class about how to source things and click on sources when you get a link for that. I'm sorry that you didn't do basic research and know that you can actually click on the sources that the AI says. So not only do you just look at what it says, you have to click on the sources to correspond that that information is actually accurate. Because if you go to a librarian, they'll tell you it's not always accurate. And it can give you information that is not accurate, or it can misrepresent information. That's why you need to click on the actual sources that it provides in order to be able to verify the information yourself. You didn't know this because you didn't pay attention in sixth grade.
Sure, but then we go back to the whole point where you just demonstrated you have no idea how AI works. Because that's not how AI works. It actually doesn't just go through it's not going to go to like your website and pull some information from, because it knows you're full of it. So it's not going to pull crap off of your website. So when you talk about it, when I said AI overview, I thought it was pretty obvious, but I'll spell it out for you because you're kind of slow. But when it pulls the AI overview, it means that I didn't click on the link to deep dive literally in the middle of talking to you.
So I'm going to give you a source that actually says otherwise. You can find this from factually.co. It says, did Joe Biden say that he was going to choose Kamala because she was a black female? And the executive summary literally says, Joe Biden never publicly said that he chose Kamala because she was a black female. The record shows Biden pledged to pick a woman in 2020 for vice president, and later emphasized that the government should reflect the country. That's it. Also, AI overview says that if you ask it, what's ParkerGetAJob's real name, it says I'm either Dean Withers or Samuel Parker Short. So I don't think AI overview is going to be the most reliable source.
Biden made the pledge. This is real simple. I just typed, where did Biden say he would choose a VP of DEI? Just shorthanded it.
I just gave you a title to dispute what you just said.
Biden made the pledge to pick a. See, there you go, interrupting again. You were afraid I was going to make a point?
No, go ahead, make your point.
It
I'm
really
sorry.
hurts the grifting, doesn't it?
Hey, dude, sir.
Does it hurt the panhandling?
Hey, sir, there's a little bit of delay on your mic. I'm sorry you stopped talking for a second. I'm sorry that me making money hurts your feelings and you're very jealous that I'm making money. But you can sit there and you can cope.
You panhandle. I'm not hurt by somebody that panhandles and delusional. And
money, 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 money. A girl, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Give some W's for them in the comment section. A girl, thank you for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Seems like he actually did that. Actually, literally, though, it's actually insane. Darsel, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Exactly. Doesn't know how many R's there are in strawberry. Exactly. Thank you so much. Gummy, thank you so much for the appreciate the $5 as well. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Can you thank my donors and then you may go?
I'm not going to thank anything for you.
Why not?
Are you still afraid of me making that point to prove you wrong still, panhandler?
No, make your point.
Professional bum. You're a professional bum. I see what you
make your point. Make your point. You're crashing out, buddy.
All right.
Can we get some baby bottles in the chat for this man-child?
This is coming from the guy who keeps interrupting me every chance he gets, and then keeps trying to rage bait me by thanking his donors every 2 seconds to interrupt me to do that. Literally, you're 12 years old, bro. You're 12 years old, bum, panhandling. Shut up for a minute.
Heidi, thank you for the $2. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
See what I mean?
Thank you so much, Heidi. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Just know that we're always here. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Haley, thank you for the $5 as well. Thank you very much.
There are only 2 genders, just so you know, by the way.
Do you want to make your point? I'm waiting.
Yeah, there's only 2 genders, man and woman. So, that was another reason why I voted for Trump, because I got tired of that insanity bullcrap of look at me pretending to be something and hoping that everybody, and then trying to cyberbully and harass and haze everybody to make them say what I want them to say about my preferred gender of my literal gender dysphoria. You guys say that you're the most you guys call MAGA a cult, but you act like a cult. Whenever Trump won, how many of you did the 4B movement and cut off your cousin because they voted for somebody else? And oh my God, and it was our reproductive rights are on the line, and your reproductive rights haven't been touched not once, but let's gloss over that fact.
Reproductive rights have been touched. Roe versus Wade was overturned. I'm sorry that you didn't know that and you didn't pay attention at all. I do think it's important that you didn't even make your point. You're cutting me off. You're cutting me off. It seems like you don't want me to make a point that's obviously going to be debunk you.
You don't like when that happens? You didn't
you're just triggered about the one thing that you were complaining about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you actually want to uphold the same standard that you're applying onto me?
Go ahead, bum. I'm listening.
You're so mad, bro. It's so funny. You're so jealous that I'm making money, and you're sitting there and literally just watching it. Wow, this Kenny. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Why would I be laughing?
$100, Kenny. Thank you for the $100 on PayPal. Can we get some W's for Kenny in the comment section right now for the $100? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I got you, Kenny. Don't worry. Hey, Josh, be quiet real quick, buddy. Let me make my point, Kenny. Hey, quiet, buddy. Quiet, Piggy, actually. Quiet, Piggy. Hey, Piggy, quiet. Hey, Piggy, quiet, Piggy. Quiet, Piggy. Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna make my
Let me
point.
crash out because I can't.
Josh, let me make my point. I'm serious. Genuinely, at this point, like,
Oh, so you interrupted my point, and now you so you can do that, and then you
oh,
want to
let me know when you've got it all out, and then I'll just speak when you're done.
Well, you keep interrupting. I haven't been able to make a single point yet because that's all you know how to do. You know how to, when somebody's making a good point, and you did that with Charlie Kirk too. You interrupted every single time somebody's.
Barbara, thank you for the $100 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Barbara. Can we get some W's for Barbara in the comment section right now? She said, "Quiet, Biggie." Actually, that's what she said. She said, "The quiet, Biggie." Actually, that's what she said. I'll now let you make your point though. I was just doing that because she told me to do that. Alrighty, go ahead.
You have the maturity level of a 12-year-old.
Cool. I don't care. Now make your point.
I'm sure you don't care. I guarantee you don't.
I honestly don't. Can you make your point?
I know. Professional bums typically don't. You have to have no.
I'm waiting for you to make your point. I like all the meta.
I've made all my points.
No, you haven't. You said you hadn't. You said I didn't give you the time to make all your points. Now you're saying that you've made all your points.
Yeah. I'm sorry you weren't able to.
Okay, let me respond then. So in terms of the qualifications.
No, thanks for the $1,000 buff. Oh my
He's
God,
crashing out, dude.
Yeah,
He's so mad.
It's not crashing out when you do it, but it's crashing out when I do it. That's weird, man. That's
Well, I mean,
really
I actually
weird.
got donations.
It's almost like you guys are all hypocrites.
Watch that. Boom. Okay, so.
Oh, look, you muted me, and I can. Oh, watch that. Boom, I unmuted.
You know what? How about this? How about this?
Let me guess. You're going to disconnect me because I'm giving you the same.
No, Josh.
You're giving me.
Josh, I'm sorry I hurt you, man. I'm sorry I hurt you with my interruptions. I'm so sorry.
I've enjoyed this a lot, actually.
I'm so sorry, Josh. I apologize that I've interrupted you. Would you like to have a productive conversation now?
You don't have conversations in good faith. I actually told myself to come up here and have a conversation in good faith. And I literally, you don't do that. You interrupt whenever somebody makes a good point. You do that rage bait thing so that you can get this little click or whatever. And everybody knows what you're up to. Everybody that's not disillusioned by the blue bullcrap, the demonic rat party.
Okay, so now I'm going to respond, and I think that it's important to acknowledge that she absolutely did have the qualifications to run for president of the United States and actually had more qualifications than the party that you voted for. Donald Trump doesn't really have qualifications, so I'd love to hear the specific qualifications that you think Donald Trump has for president of the United States.
What's interesting is all the Democrats were supporting Donald Trump back in the early to mid 90s about running for president because they felt he was qualified. Notable people such as Oprah Winfrey literally asked him on air if he was going to. And they supported him up until he said that he was going to run on the red side. And then the Trump derangement syndrome took over and all this came crashing out. And you keep mentioning the fact that he was convicted of his 34 felonies. But what you're not mentioning is the fact that you and I both know is that they literally created a law and then went back to charge him for it because at the time it wasn't illegal when he did it. And those are the felonies that you're citing. And also those SA charges that you guys keep throwing a fit about too, those were all in civil court. Those were never in criminal court because in criminal court, you actually have to bring solid evidence. And in civil court, the threshold for evidence for SA is far lower, and that's why they were suing him in civil court because they couldn't do anything in federal court, criminal court.
So I'm gonna ask a question one more time, and then I'll respond to all the points that you just made up to pivot away from that point. What qualifications did Donald Trump have to run for president of the United States?
I just mentioned them. Like that he was already qualified long year. Did you not hear that part?
Oh, you claim that like some Democrats in the 1990s claimed that he was qualified. That's not me thinking he's qualified. I'm also wasn't even alive in the 1990s, so don't see how that's relevant to me. Madeline, think the future encounter. So would you like to tell me what qualifications that he has for running for president of the United States?
Well, every time he's spoken, he's actually had policies he can actually lay out and things that he wants to actually do. Whereas what Kamala couldn't have an unscripted interview with anybody, and then we come to find out that what was that, CNN? Was it CNN that they butchered the crap out of it and edited the crap out of it and actually ended up getting sued because of that? But you're going to tell me that Kamala Harris was way more, I mean, you can look it up. I see you looking it up.
No,
you're going to tell me Kamala Harris was far more qualified, but she wasn't. She had to have a handler, and she had $2 billion, wasn't it? Or was it $1 billion? Anyway, she far outspent Trump, far outspent Trump, and she couldn't make any policies of her own. Not to mention that she was a pathological liar. She kept talking about how how many lies did she get caught up in? Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and say that Trump doesn't lie too. Trump definitely does. I'm I'm not going to sit here and pretend like he doesn't. But she had no unique ideas of her own for policies. None. And she said that if she was to go and do it all over again, she'd think Joe Biden did a good job. She said yes. Would you do everything exactly how Joe Biden did? She said no. And then they just stared at each other. If that doesn't tell you something, come on.
So I'm still waiting. What were the qualifications? You try to say that he has policies.
Yeah.
I could ask you what policies, but by the way, that's not a qualification for running. That's just an ideological position that you agree with him in terms of policy, not a qualification. So what qualifications? And then we'll talk about all the things you brought up, because I want to address every single point you brought up, but none of these are addressing the question I'm asking you. What qualifications does Donald Trump have to be president of the United States?
Oh, okay. So you want to know what qualifications he has that were more than Kamala, or just what qualifications?
What qualifications he has for being president of the United States in general?
I just named a bunch of them, and I'm not going to let you discredit those. I don't care if you don't like him or don't like him. Do like him or don't like him, but that's my answer.
Sir, are you sure that you answered that question?
So many committees. He's been on so many committees his whole life. He's 70 years old.
What committees?
Yes, and he's failed in other businesses, but he's also had many, many successful businesses too. You don't go for your entire life being a billionaire with no know-how of how the world works. Not to mention that he's been shaking hands with statesmen and leaders of nations his whole life. He had the relationships with those world leaders.
Actually, Kamala Harris would have more relations with these leaders because she's been working in government. Donald Trump would be working with business people, maybe, but not with the people directly in government. Also, shaking hands with people doesn't actually establish a qualification. Along with the successful business person, again, 6 bankruptcies, he inherited $400 million from his dad. I don't think that's the basis for saying that he's qualified. I think the things that I brought up for Kamala Harris are significantly more in terms of qualifications. Again, she was a prosecutor, district attorney, attorney general, vice president, senator. Right, she's very accredited in terms of her history. And then I want to address all the other things that you brought up as well. So the 34 felonies were not a created law, right, that already existed. He just committed a different crime than what people typically commit when they violate the particular law that people were thinking that he was violating. It was a felony because he committed a predicate crime, meaning he was committing the falsification of business records, right, in furtherance of another crime, right, which is what stepped it up to a felony rather than being a misdemeanor. So that's the reason because of that. The civil court is in the civil court for SA not because of the lack of evidence, but because of the statute of limitations, which prevents them from holding a people accountable in a criminal case after a certain amount of years, which shouldn't exist in the very first place. And it did meet the standard of evidence for a civil court, which is enough for us to say that we probably wouldn't want to support someone, or we think it should be illegal for someone to run for president of the United States. And then she also had plenty of policies, including the $6,000 child tax credit for the first year of a child's life, $3,600 to them being 5 years old, $3,000 to them being 18, a $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers for new homes, a $2,000 cap on pharmaceuticals out of pocket, a $35 cap on insulin for everyone, not just for people who are on Medicare, along with a public option expanding access to universal health care. So those are all policies that she supported, actual legitimate policies. Whereas I would like to ask you, could you name any of the policies that Trump supported? Healthcare, childcare, or housing affordability?
I can tell you some things that he championed. Yeah, he wanted to cut the waste. That was one of the policies. He also wanted to have no tax on tips, which he accomplished too. There's another policy. He wanted to start reforming the welfare system. That's another policy he went on. He wanted to stop wastefully spending on our trade deficit worldwide. He did that. He wanted to stop the weaponization of the Department of Justice, which did happen under Biden. And I don't care if you like it or don't like it, or if you agree with it or don't agree with it. Never in the history of the United States has any Department of Justice ever actively gone after a former president because they knew he was a political opponent. Never, ever, ever has it ever happened, and it was a slap in the face to every Republican.
So, I think that these are all ridiculous. First thing you said, no tax on tips. That is in the Big Beautiful Bill. That was supported by both Democrats and Republicans. Not the Big Beautiful Bill, but the no tax on tips.
Wasn't it shut down the government?
Can you please be quiet and let me finish?
Yeah, sure. They supported it, right? While they shut down the government for. Go ahead.
So they support the no tax on tips portion. They do not support the Big Beautiful Bill. They didn't shut down the government because of no tax on tips. That's just a ridiculous thing. And the no tax on tips thing isn't completely no tax on tips. It's a deduction for taxable income in relation to tips. And then like when you say reform the welfare system, that doesn't specify how he's reforming the welfare system, so that's not really a relevant thing to bring up. And then you say stopping wasteful spending in relation to the trade deficit. Trade deficit isn't wasteful spending. A trade deficit is simply just the difference between imports and exports, right? And if countries or if our country is buying things from other countries, but those countries aren't specifically buying as much from us, that's totally reasonable given that we're the largest consumer base in the world and that other countries are smaller than the United States in plenty of instances. Therefore, it would make more sense that we'd be buying more from them than they'd be buying from us. That's not evidence of a bad economic relation, but actually rather just evidence of the fact that they're like a smaller country, for example. We can also point to the fact that there was no weaponization of the DOJ under Biden's administration. If there was weaponization of the DOJ under
What
Biden's
the
administration, then you would have
Okay.
expected that they would have released all of the Epstein files prior to the point in which obviously it was, which again needed
They
to
didn't.
be released because of a legislative order. But if they were weaponizing the DOJ, they would have been able to superpass those things past 2024 after the grand jury got rid of the seal on that case. They would have been able to push for that prior to that point in order to be able to get that done. But that just actually demonstrates the fact that they didn't, that there was a separation between the DOJ and between the Biden-Harris administration's actions, meaning that they were not weaponizing the DOJ.
They did weaponize the DOJ. Can you name a single president that's ever had their personal residence raided by the FBI afterwards? One. And I don't want to hear reason, just can you name one single president, former president, that has had their personal residence raided by the FBI after their term?
I'm not quite familiar with whether or not that'd be applicable to some. I do know it's been applicable to Biden because Biden actually worked with law enforcement. Trump didn't work with law
Can you name
enforcement
a
and
single
didn't.
president,
Trump.
former president, that was raided by the FBI after his term?
Well, you say after his term. Could it be during his term? Because that happened with Biden.
No, I'm saying after his term. And Biden was under review because of his son couldn't. So I don't know if I can say that.
You can't say that. So,
Coca-Cola.
do you have a? Well, you already said it. If you have another account, you can send a guest request back. If not, I do have to go on to the next person. It is TikTok TOS. Also, like you quite literally like weren't engaging with any of the points. You know that obviously Joe Biden, this is applicable to him, and he actually worked with law enforcement. He complied with the law. Trump was unwilling to comply with the law, and that's why he was raided, because he wasn't willing to work with the law. That's the reason. So, if you have another account, you can send